Gautam, one of the things is, right, if you take the retail and the clothing and lifestyle that you are in, there's a technology part and the business part of it, both.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. And in your business, the key thing of a retail outlet is touch and feel.
Very true.
Now I'm going to kill it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, it's like you had these racks of clothes, right? No, you don't want to touch any of those racks of clothes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, trial. What will trial rooms be? How will you do a trial? Somebody puts a trial, then what do? You send that thing for dry cleaning, and after that, what's going to happen? And I'm kind of curious. Maybe I will give you the first line of impact is going to be you amongst all of us, right?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? What's the thing rumble that's happening or discussions that's happening in your world? I'm sure what I'm telling is not new to you. You would have been already talking about it very seriously for the past couple of weeks and months, nearly a month probably.
Correct. Correct.
So what's happening there?
See, from a retail industry, the immediate focus that has shifted from a customer mindset, from the business, is that they wanted to focus more on digital, right? So they immediately said that okay, the number of customers walking into a retail store might reduce, is what the entire retail industry is foreseeing, and they're all focusing on going digital. So basically, they wanted to have their online presence, and a lot of brands who were always on the physical the retail store mindset, they're all transforming now, right? So in the last 2 months, I have seen, at least I have spoken to a few digital enablers who are like, I'm totally busy, right? So they are saying, I'm held up with so many projects, I will not be able to accommodate yours. That is the first word they say.
Karthik is smiling. Services company. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I spoke to a couple of people. Everyone says I'm chocker blocked. I'm having a lot of projects on moving into retail stores online. So that is the first mindset that I've gone. And the second thing is rightly what you have pointed out. There are physical products stacked in the stores, and they'll have to clean everything, disinfect it. So there is a lot of things, especially in terms of trials, right? So the business is very thinking that how do I disinfect the product, because if a customer, I cannot just treat him like untouchable, right? So I cannot say that sorry sir, you cannot I cannot catch it like this and keep it here, and that also makes the customer very uncomfortable at the retail store, right? So what they are all our retail team is thinking is they are planning to have a steam iron, right? So they will keep a steam iron just next to it, so that all the customers before trial and after trial get the product disinfected and then they deliver it.
Okay.
Yeah. And there is one program that we normally run the entire year. So every year in the between June and August, there is one program that Raymond normally does, which is called a garment exchange program. So wherein you exchange the old products, and then we give you a new product in it. There's a certain discount, right? So
Okay.
now people are very thinking that how will I take a garment from a customer now? So,
Okay.
how can you take a used product from a customer? Again, I have to have the habit of again disinfecting that, keep storing it somewhere. So everywhere people are very sensitive about touch now, right? And I have seen, especially in the last 2 months, when during the COVID time, there are a lot of hardware players who have transformed immediately. They gave us a quick solution, though it
Mhm.
might be a quick and a dirty solution, I would say, especially in terms of like entering the pin, right? So customer uses the credit card terminal to type the pin number, right? So there the hardware devices have come with a IR this thing IR light that can disinfect and every time.
Oh, okay.
So new devices are also evolving right now. So I was just thinking, okay, is it going to be a temporary phase, or are we going to? So, anyways, I think we are going to live with it till the
Perfect.
vaccine is going to be there. But the solution that they have given might go off if the vaccine is found, right? So I don't understand why do they have to come up with a solution which is just going to be a temporary thing, right? So maybe over a period of time, if, for example, everyone expects that the vaccine comes in over a, say, 6-7 months period, right? So if that comes up, then what will the device do? So it will still do the purpose of cleaning up the disease. It can disinfect it, but still, why do you have to invest on such a device?
So
Because
these are what I call as business continuity devices, right? Because they don't want the things to stop. It's just like you have a pump in your basement which will work like one day in the whole year, but if it is not there on that day, your basement is flooded, right? So these are all business continuity solutions, I would say. And yeah, I mean, they are temporary, I agree, but they will be in storage and they will be brought out every time there is some new infection. So so I know, means some of them will go waste. Definitely, you're right. Means but people get comfort. Means when I'm talking from the operations perspective, not from architecture, but operations is sort of related to architecture. When you go into production, this is what happens when things don't work. Do we have a backup? Even means even today, a lot of organization have paper-based backup for lot of digital solutions, because they know if it does not work, how do we continue the business? We cannot, suppose there is a 24-hour outage in a retail business, you know, right? So let's say in all your stores, I am sure there is a paper-based solution to handle sales, just in case everything in your store digitally disappears for some time, right? So I would say these are good things to have. They're not wasted, but people are innovative and they think that, okay, how do I continue business? So that is the reason why you see
I always feel that this is a short-term solution that they have given. Quick and dirty is what I would say. Maybe there should be a new evolving technology that should solve this entire problem. Maybe the pin comes to your mobile and you show it to the cashier. Something of that sort has to evolve.
I think that's a very interesting point that you brought. I'm just curious about that. Is it a new device that you have to get, or is it an add-on to an existing thing?
Actually, I think I just can answer that solution to your new device, which you were saying that the pin comes on the phone and you just show it to the cashier. So that actually has been implemented by Paytm, I believe.
True.
Right. So it comes with a code. You just show the code to the cashier and he types the code, and the code is always different. So it's not really related to your pin.
In case of a credit card or a debit card, you are still exchanging the card to someone. There is still a touch involved, right?
Yes.
So that's where I'm saying maybe because I recently went to a shop, they just did this thing NFC. So they just tapped it and they gave me. Right. So
but still it is touch.
Okay.
But still it is
that
touch.
Is still fine. So because they asked me to tap it myself. But still, from a cashier perspective, he is still on a riskier stage because he is doing the touching, right? So, but there are no multiple people touching the device, but at least only the cashier is touching the device and using it.
Yes.
But that device about that infrared, is it a new device or is it an add-on to the existing swipe machines?
Okay, so they have given a new device itself with a small lamp types, a reading lamp types on top. So it's like a device with a reading lamp thing, right? So it is glowing on your touchpad. So whenever someone touches, it is ensuring that you're touching on a disinfected surface.
I think the beauty of these discussions, right? I always find it hard, especially architecture, because it branches off into so many directions, right? If it's a pure engineering discussion, it's a lot easier to have. And if the discussion itself is so hard, architecting solutions will be even more harder. And reaching consensus is next to impossible. Architecture decisions, right? Consensually made is going to be very extremely hard here. So in a way, right, Gowtham, what you said is actually an engineering solution has been produced, but an architecture solution has not been produced.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I think it's actually a good example that you gave, right? We are all great engineers. Engineering we have, but then it's like we try to solve every problem with an engineering solution or a technology solution, whereas the architecture solution is completely different. Now, an architecture solution should handle the questions that you're talking about, right? What's the long-term use of it? What's the return on that benefit? I put some money today. Okay, 6 months later, it's gone. What do I do with it? Take it and throw it and get back the old device? Who's going to pay for this? Correct? Or do I still make the life of the end user painful even after vaccine has been painful? Because I invested in it.
Yeah.
Correct. And there are so many things, right? Like the steaming that you said. Now, in your maintenance, you're going to include that as a part of your process, just like you do an inventory of barcode scan. Maybe
Yeah.
you'll introduce a process to say once a trial is done, that SKU will be steamed and scanned to
Correct.
say that, this thing has been done. Now you introduce that process. Now it's gone into the PDA, it's gone into the ERP. Vaccine is found. Now, how do you roll back the change? Oh, sorry, it's going to cost another 50 lakhs to change that. Okay.
Very true. Yeah.
Well, services company, we make money like that, but that's a different topic. So, Karthik, how do you see this happening? So, one point which I was thinking from an integration space also, correct? Like I was thinking product attributes, right, in retail or any product today doesn't have an attribute called touchable or non-touchable or sanitized. I think that might become a key attribute in traceability. So in traceability, we have manufacturing, date of manufacturing, where it was manufactured, the source of the material, like that. I think that's a key thing in supply chain traceability. Probably now, a attribute like touchable, sanitized would become a key aspect of an SKU attribute itself. But it's just like, as Ramesh was telling about that data thing, right? It's not as simple as just adding another field to a column. It has huge implications. It goes all the way down up to the PDA of when the steaming is done, that handheld device will actually set that flag to true. Somebody has worn it, right? And and there's a device inside which when you take it out, right, when you walk into the trial room, you scan it and go inside. Now it marks it as it's been touched.